After a slow about month and a half to 2 months in boxing, things are starting to heat up as we wrap up 2025. The fall and winter schedule, it looks pretty nice. I gotta say, we're into October now. October, there's gonna be some fun weekends coming up. I wanna talk about some of the fights that are catching my eyes, because I think there's a few fights, whether it be on the same day or just a couple weeks apart. Hey, it's gonna be fun with boxing because August wasn't really any fights. September, we had the huge mega fight with Canelo versus Crawford, but it felt like that was the only one. And I know everybody has that one specific fighter that maybe isn't the most well-known that's fighting. Well, we got some well-known named guys, some high-profile guys fighting come October. I want to talk about each of their fights. We'll get more in-depth on each of their fights, in particular on other videos on this channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. But I just want to talk about some of these fights coming up and letting you know what to expect here in October. As this is the Never Drop podcast. Again, if you want to learn more and watch more and look at my predictions and breakdowns and all these of the fights coming up in detail and depth, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like this video, comment below which fight you're looking forward to the most upcoming. Let's talk about October. Let's jump straight to October 11th because this one isn't necessarily the biggest fight you can make for Jaron Ennis. That's against Usima Lima, but it has potential ramifications and sets up things down the line, aka in early 2026. For Ennis, as soon as he said Lima was the opponent, instant backlash from people all over, and I can see why. People want to see Jaron Ennis get in there with a top guy. At 47, he was able to beat Stanionis in his final fight at 47 before moving up. Get a couple belts, get the ring belt. Okay, yeah, you're the best welterweight. Then Brian Norman Jr. has arguably the knockout of the year, calls you out, and you say, I'm going up to 54. We want to see you against these top guys in the division. Well, at 47, you didn't have your chance with Spence and Crawford and all that dilemma, right? But now you're at 54. We want to see you against champions or Virgil Ortiz. The reason I said that, hey, this could set some stuff up is because this could clearly set up the Virgil Ortiz fight. I mean, there's rumors that fight should be happening the start of 2026. Virgil's fighting in November. If they're both healthy, it should happen, right? But and reports have said that he wanted tune-ups at 54. Well, let's see if Lima decides to just be a tune-up and quote-unquote roll over, right? It's no easy task. It's a task that Boots should handle. It's a ranked guy in Lima, but in his hometown, that's something else for Boots. What type of performance is he going to put on in Philadelphia? His last one against Karen Chukinzania, the rematch that was really unnecessary, people were walking out in the 10th round. I was there. I was present. It was disappointing. Boots kind of got to make it up to his hometown Philly crowd. Obviously, they're always going to show up for Boots. But this has to be the fight before the super fights, before the big fights. For Boots, you got to be fighting Virgil Ortiz or champions at the belt. And it's the same I said with Virgil Ortiz. He's great. Virgil's going with top guy. Erickson Lubin, that's a tougher fight than Lima. They both obviously have different styles, present different challenges, but Erickson Lubin is a heck of an opponent if you're not fighting the champions. For Boots, hey, if this is your tune-up, okay, so be it. I'll give you that. You're jumping a new weight class. Heard fighters like Chris Algieri say from 147 to 154, toughest jump out of any jump in boxing. So that's fair. But it can't be another guy after this that's a warm-up. But for Ennis, this is a let me shut up a lot of people. Let me shut up. You had an incredible, best performance of your career against Stanionis. You got to follow it at this new weight. And then on the mic, you got to call out these other guys. I know you've said, I want to fight these. No. Look into the mic and say, Virgil Ortiz, at 154, I'm here, I want you. Sebastian Fundora. All these guys, I want you. You are a top attraction and top tier talent in the division. We got to see it. So here, for me, you get grace for the Lima fight. A lot of people, you're not going to get the grace, but for me, you're getting it. That's coming up October 11th. Again, not a big fight necessarily, but it's a big name guy with Ennis. October 18th, talk about big names. I mean, this is once a huge name, especially at welterweight. That's Danny Garcia. This is going to be his last fight in Barclays. It's probably a fight I'm not going to talk about too much, but if you're in the New York area, Danny Garcia fan, go check it out. October 18th. It is on pay-per-view, which interesting, right? He's fighting Daniel Gonzalez. Danny Garcia didn't look good at all in his last fight. Again, I think there's going to be a lot of fights on this card, a lot of Danny Garcia fighters, because he has his own promotional company. This is something, if you're in that area, hey, go check it out, right? Especially if you like Danny Garcia. Don't expect, especially just from that main event, maybe the most action-packed slugfest fight, but it's something that's out there, especially if you're in the Northeast, Danny Garcia fan, October 18th. But then we get to the real main event of the month, October 25th. 2 fight cards, 2 main events that are, yes, we are tuned into. Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley, the first one. Heavyweight matchup, the O2 in London. This is going to be a good one. Joseph Parker, if he wins this fight and he doesn't get Usyk next, then politics and the boxing gods just aren't on his side. Because for Parker, hey, this is a tough fight. Against Fabio Wardley, a very good opponent in heavyweight boxing. Anything can go, right? Parker should be getting Usyk. Do I think he beats Usyk? No. I don't think a heavyweight in the world right now beats Usyk. But Usyk's gone through these other guys. Fury, Joshua Dubois. Joseph Parker deserves his opportunity. But first, Parker has to get through Wardley. Big time fight out in London. That's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a really fun one. But I assume later that night, we're going to get a fun card with PBC on Prime Video. Sebastian Fundora, who I just mentioned at 54, same timeline, obviously, as Boots Ennis, fight-wise. That could be something. He's taking on Keith Thurman, a fight that I think Sebastian Fundora should win. I think Sebastian Fundora is a top 3 guy, top 3 fighter in this division at 154, right? So he should beat Keith Thurman, but it's Keith Thurman, right? Like, it'll be a fun fight. It's obviously not the best matchup you can make for Fundora at 54, but I think it'll be a fun fight. And then you look at the co-main, O'Shaquie Foster versus Stephen Fulton. This is a fight that obviously was rumored for the Tank versus Roach rematch, the co-main on that. That didn't happen, so it got moved to this. I love this fight. Stephen Fulton going up to 130. Remember, before his last fight at 126 against Brandon Figueroa, everyone's counting him out, including me. His previous performance was lackluster. That was his first one coming off the Inoue fight. Got dropped. Really was a kind of maybe got lucky to win that fight. Could have been a draw. It was a fight that was like, ooh. The ring rust, the layoff, everything was just like, maybe this just isn't the same Stephen Fulton. Comes back against Figueroa, puts on a boxing clinic. Not your most exciting fight, but a boxing clinic. He's going up against O'Shaquie Foster. O'Shaquie, man, he's a fun fighter. He can box, but he also can get active. That Conceição rematch, I was in the building for the Conceição rematch after they robbed him in that first fight against Ropes and Conceição. I think this will be a fun fight. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I mean, the skills of both guys are elite. The power isn't necessarily there between the two, but this is going to be an elite boxing fight. I'm pumped for this one. I might be more excited for the co-main than I am the main. I'm just saying. Also on that undercard, Frank Martin makes his return. I made a video about this just a couple of days ago. Frank Martin is returning to the ring against Rances Bartolomé. Not the biggest, not the opponent that we want to see, but Frank Martin's back in the ring. I talked about in my preview. I think Bartolomé may pose an issue or two for Frank Martin, but it's nothing I don't think Frank Martin can overcome. I think it's going to be a great test with Frank back in the ring. That's going to be a fun card. That's PBC on pay-per-view on Amazon Prime. I'm excited for that. Again, October's fun. November's fun. A couple fights in December that might be lining up right now. Let me know in the comments which fight out of all of these you're looking forward to the most. And let me know if I missed any fights, what other fights I should be tuning into during this October stretch. We'll talk about November coming up, and we'll talk about each of these fights as they come along. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, like this video. Again, comment below which fight you're looking forward to the most. It's been the Never Drop Podcast. That's all I got for you. Peace. I'm out.